Hey there fellow mobile gaming fanatics, I'm MyTyme, this is MyNBA2k17 and today I'm going to bring you generally what I'm going to call a tips video, okay? So just a few little things to think about while you're playing the game that maybe, might help your progression, might be able to make you move up your tiers a bit quicker, and a few things that people haven't maybe thought about, especially if you're new to the game, especially if you didn't play MyNBA2k16, and I didn't really play MyNBA2k15, so I can't go that far back, but certainly the previous version of the game. Now, before we kick off, I'm going to say welcome to the people on the team at the moment. So we do have myself, we have bphilly8080, CM Punk 34, Crazy Cabbage, D-Boy Gaming, J-Boy, Jiggle Jazz 27, Matthew Bell, and that penguin with the nice little penguin avatar. So there are a few of you still who are pending, which I will come back to in a minute. And once again, I must stress, guys, if you do apply to be in the team, I need you to let me know your name in game, and then I can accept you, because I want to try and give you guys the option of joining the team first if you wish to, as opposed to just letting random people or people who aren't subscribers etc. join. Not that there's going to be anything great from it. We've still to see what they're going to do with teams in this version of the game, but with that said, it would be quite nice to have you lot who like my content and play the game to join with me and see what we can do together. First of all, I also want to give a shout out to William Farrett first of all, who has asked me to join his team and give him from his deck here. If we could look at his profile, you can see he has a few decent cards already up in the legendary tier. I wonder which one of these is going to be his freebie. I'm going to guess he got the Shaq as his freebie. So he's obviously playing quite a bit, which is pretty cool. Maybe in the future I'll join his team. And also to Big Homie for saying to me again he's on the team, but in the future he might like to join. So once again, guys, more than welcome. As I said, this is for fun at the moment. I'm just seeing how this game goes before I decide how much time and effort I am going to spill into it. But we have a season on the way that's coming to an end, so what I'm going to probably do is I'll show you the progress at the moment. I'm going out of it here. As you can see, I'm 3-2 down. The Rescue's got a slightly better squad than me, finished third. I ended up coming up to 6th after doing some energising to pull me back into it. Pretty sure I'm going to lose these last 2 games. I'm losing in this game here. It can depend how this third quarter goes. We'll see in 30 seconds if I've got a chance or not. But the idea is, season rewards, I'll get at least an ultra rare card. So hopefully it'll be something half decent. Maybe give me a duplicate of a card so I can get ready for another pro. I'm just going to show you guys in a moment what I have been doing. I've actually been to the auction house and got myself a few cards, so I'll be able to make some pros after, and we're going to go into why I have done that in just a moment. Let's see how this third quarter goes. So we are, I thought it changed at every 10 minutes. Well, how long is it? It's 4 quarters, half an hour, so it'd be 7:50, wouldn't it? Okay, my bad. We'll leave that for the moment. We'll come back. So what have I done? Well, first of all, I have played, if we go to quick game, I've played 500 and something of games. Okay, so I've played 560-ish games. So ignore the win to loss ratio, guys. It actually has absolutely no impact on your gameplay whatsoever. The only thing it does do is obviously the more wins you have, the more cards you get to pick. So we're going to come to that in a minute when it comes to talking about tips and tricks for the game. But we're going to come back and let's have a look at what I've been doing with my cards first of all. So if we come back into epics, we still got the same epic cards here. My board pick of Tony Parker, my 4 epic foils from my packs, which are going to be the ones that I'm going to work on first of all, because they have the 2 stat specialization as opposed to the 1 stat specialization for the regular card. So for those of you that aren't aware, when you get a card, you get a random specialization stat which will boost one of your stats. A foil card will give you 2 of those, so technically overall its overall stats would be better than a 1 than original. So if these were 2 Tony Parker cards, the Tony Parker card with the 2 stat specialization would be stronger than the card with the single stat specialization, because it gives it an automatic boost. Now you can't pick what it goes on, so obviously with cards which have their best attributes you'd like to have the specialization in, but you don't always get that lucky. So what I've gone is I've been in the auction house and I've got myself some cards. So if we can look here, I have my Clint Capella ultra rare. Now this one has been trained up because he was in my season, so I just happened to train him up to try and help me get through. And I have a third Clint down here, so I'll be able to sign him as a pro once the season finishes. I've also got Jahil Okafor here, and I've got 2 more Jahils here. And finally we also have Dieng here, and I've got 2 more down here. So I can use my veteran contracts, which require 1 main card fully leveled up and 2 duplicate cards which don't have to be leveled, to make pros. So once the season is finished, we'll do these pros on camera and show you, and that's going to give me 3 ultra rare pros, and that's going to help me move up and get closer to the legendary tier. Now why am I want to get to legendary tier? Well, here's the first tip I'm going to give you guys. You see your games here. If you click on ladder rewards, you get various rewards from playing, whether it be RP, whether it be contracts, whether it be specializations, whether it be enhancements. And as we scroll down, you get a star contract with 250 games, which I recommend holding on to, guys. Okay, there is absolutely no reason why you would use a star contract at this stage of the game. Okay, I promise you, keep hold of these for star and playoff tier. Okay, star contracts will be vital later on to helping you progress quickly, so hold on to those now. When you get down to 1000 games, you get 1 full player card at your current deck level. So what I recommend people is trying to get yourself to legendary tier. Now if you're not spending money, I appreciate this won't be as simple, and it's going to involve you probably having to use the auction house a bit more. And if you are willing to spend money, then we'll come to that in the future. You don't have to use packs to achieve this, you just have to make some pros early on. But ideally when you hit 1000 games, you want to be in legendary tier, because you want to try and get a legendary foil card. If you can't quite make it, an epic foil card will still serve you pretty well for the time being, because the game is in its early stages. But once star tier and playoff tier come out, you won't use epic cards anymore. You won't really use legendary either, but a legendary card obviously will give you more use in the long run, especially in you can use it for longer in your seasons. You'll use it in your road to the championship decks. So try and get to there as quick as you can. And one of the ways to do that is when you're playing games, I should hopefully be able to show you, is to try and win. And then if you do win, watch the ads at the end. Now tip number 2, watching the ads if you're a free player is massive, because you're going to get 4 board picks for watching a 30-second ad. Now it doesn't sound like a lot, but it takes you more than 30 seconds to get through 2 of these games, of which point you're going to get the same 4 picks. But if you play 1 game and then watch an ad, you get a total of 6 picks. Okay, if you play 3 games, you also get 6 picks. Not only is it quicker to watch the ad to get the 6 picks, but it means that you're not wasting 2 more of your games to get to that 1000 game mark. Yeah, because you want to get as many board picks as possible to get as many cards as possible as you can, so you've got an increased chance of pulling your ultra rares, your epic cards, whatever tier you're in. So you'd ideally here use your 3 picks, watch the advert. I'm not going to do it on camera, and then you come back, take your 6 picks, and you want to do that every time as often as you can. Whether you're free or not a free to play player, it doesn't matter at the moment. You want to try and get as many cards as you can before you hit that 1000 game mark, to increase your likelihood of pulling ultra rares, duplicates, etc. Epic cards, top tier cards, whatever tier you're in. So then you can go into the auction house, try and get your pros, and then get yourself into that legendary tier before you hit 1000 games. It's a really big point that I need to make to you guys, because it's something that a lot of people do not think about. As you can see here, we have a chance of winning this in the 4th quarter. So what I'm going to do is I am going to shoot out for 2 seconds, come back in even, and then I am going to go and look at a couple more tips for you guys. Okay, so back on the theory of tips here. The auction house. Now I really recommend you, if you're going to play the game and spend a little bit of money, to get the credits that are needed to sell cards yourself. Okay, so as you can see here, I have sold a card It was just a rare card, sold for 6,000 RP minus the 600. They take the 10%, 5,400. Now, you can see down here there's a lot of solds in here. I'm selling a lot of rare cards. Now, my tip to you guys, I've got these ones up for auction at the moment. This is a mistake. These are the earlier ones. These are supposed to be 6,000 buy it now, but these are from before. I've now changed it from a starting bid at 2,000, my buy it now at 6,000. That's what I'm doing for most of the cards. Unless a card comes back twice not being sold, then I will put it out for 5,000. The idea here is at the very beginning of the game, so where we are now, a lot of people are going to be making rare pros, so you'll be able to sell your rares for a far higher fee than you will later in the game. And if we come back to my RP, and I can just show you from up here, I have 79,730 left. Bearing in mind, I've bought 2 Jahlil Okafors, 1 Clint Capella, and 2... What's the other one I bought? Diengs. Yeah. I bought all of those from RP without spending a penny transferring credits to RP. I have just used my goals, and I've used my credits to go to the auction house and sell cards as you would do here for 15, 20 credits, whatever it be. So for example, I will go to the auction house, I play the game, try get those rare resets, and I will then go into the auction house and start sell, trying to sell all those cards as soon as possible. So tip number 3 here is rare cards will have very, very little impact in your long-term life of the game, okay? If you want to make super rare pros, that is optional. I think it will help you. It will help you in terms of getting through a... Oh, look at this. It will help you in terms of getting through your seasons. It will help you in terms of getting through your road to championship when it starts, but they're not going to have a long-term lifespan. Rare pros are just not worth it, guys. Promise you, do not spend your resources on rare pros. Ideally look at ultra rare and above. As I said, super rare, it's kind of up to you, but what you would kind of do here, let's imagine this was a player. I don't have a card to show you because I've already done it. I'd be coming in here, putting in my buy it now cost of whatever I thought it would be, which would be 6,000. I'd be doing my starting bid at 2,000, and then I would begin the listing. So what I will show you again here is I do have some super rares that I'm not going to be using. So we're going to use now one of the reasons why I might have actually kept Noel Nalines is because he is a dual player, so he can play in centre or the power forward position. So those kind of cards become really, really key when you're doing seasons, when you're doing your deck 25s, because they have the option to play in 2 positions. So if they're one of your strongest cards, if you're lacking in a position or you need them to play multiple positions, they can still get the bonus for playing in position. Whereas obviously your point guard down here, like Williams, if he's not in the point guard role, then he's not going to get the bonus for being in position. So double position players, generally they're not quite as strong overall. They tend to be fractionally weak. I mean, if you have a look here, you see he's 1 point up here, he's 4 points up. Oh, in this case, there's not a lot of difference between Noel and Williams. But yeah, with some people, you will find that the dual positions, unless they're like a top player, they do tend to be a little bit kind of fractionally worse off than a player who specialises in a position, but also they give you that versatility. So what I would do is, I'm only kept this Alvin Williams because if I happen to pull another one, or maybe find one of them cheap, I might pro him for the sake of it. But we will do Williams on camera just to show you kind of what I'm doing. So in fact, we're going to go a little bit different. I'm going to put 12,000 out here because he's worth at least 10. You'll get 10 for him, no problem. But I'm going to go with a 12. I'm going to put a buy it now just to make sure that I don't get too screwed over him at 6,000. Use the 20 credits to list him, and that's going to help me get some RP. Now, with that RP, what I've gone and done is I have gone and bought myself my Okafor, gone and bought myself my Dieng, and I will then be able to pro those. Now, once you get enough like I do there, you can then come in, you can go to your epics and hopefully try to get an epic pro. Now, who do I have? I've got Williams, Parker. Let's have a look and see if there's any Williams on here. Nope, no Williams. Okay, let's have a look at the Spurs and see if we can get a Parker. Okay, well, I'm not going to spend 200,000 on a Parker, even though he is a pro. But just a good example, okay? You can see this kind of price is going up here now. I can guarantee you when Starter comes out, all these prices begin to decrease, okay, for epic cards. Even in a 2, 3, 4 weeks time, maybe, when there's a lot more epic pros out there, a lot more people have got their epic pools and they're getting board resets and they're getting more epic cards, the price of these cards will drop. The same as the price of those rare cards. That's why I think it is absolutely imperative for you guys, if you're willing to spend a bit of money on the credits to be able to auction your cards, to be able to get the RP, to get the other cards to make them pros, get rid of those rare cards now. They hold much more value. If you come back to this 5-6 months down the line, you're going to be selling rare cards for the very minimum, because everyone's going to have them. There's going to be so few people that are starting up that want to make rare pros. You're going to really struggle to, and the market's going to be flooded with them, that you're going to really struggle to get any kind of price for them. So now's the perfect time for you to come out, go to your auction house and sell those cards. Just sell them. Just believe me, just sell. So we'll have a look. We'll see if they've got a Cantor and they've got a Jackson as well. If there's anything I can buy on camera. I don't think I'm going to have quite enough to buy them yet. I'm probably going to have to make sure that I sell someone else. Okay, so we can buy 55,000 now. Here you go. To buy a Cantor, or 60,000. As you can see, obviously I'd take the 55,000. I might actually do that in a moment. Let's just see where the Pistons. Let's just see how much this Reggie Jackson is, if there's one here. No, there isn't. Okay, so rightly or wrongly, as I'm on camera, let's go and do this. Let's come to Thunder, and I'm going to buy this. So I've been saving up, I've been selling all those cards. Now this is going to be big for me, because it's going to be one card closer to me making a pro, which is also then going to be closer for getting me into that star tier. So I need to have a load of ultra rare pros and probably 1 or 2 epic pros. So I'm actually going to go and buy this now. Some people may say, what are you doing spending 55,000 on him? But the truth is, he is a dual player, and once this comes through, as you can see, he can play in the center or the power forward position. He will be making one of my foils into a pro in the near future, and this is going to be a step towards me getting that into legendary tiers, so I can get a legendary foil card. So pretty happy about that. I'm going to just wait for some more auctions, go back and play and see if we can get myself some more rare cards, super rare cards I don't need. You know, even the odd ultra rare. Hold up. Let's have a little look. Let's have a look at these ultra rares. What ultra rares have I got that I could technically sell? I would recommend going and having a look at the prices for your cards before you go. So let's say Festus Easily. Let's have a look. Let's go to the Trailblazers and see how much he is going for. Because, oops, that was not good, was it? That was a fail. What am I looking for? Who am I looking for? Portland, that's it. Okay, so you can put his name in just to find him, but there you go. Buy it now, 15,000. Buy it now, 25,000. 19, 14 and a half. Okay, so you go. So I'm going to be looking somewhere around 15 odd thousand to sell him. Now, if I have no intention of actually making him into a pro, which at this exact moment in time, you know what, guys? I don't, because I've got a few ultras. So let's go here. Let's put him on the market. We'll put his buy it now price at 10,000, just to make sure that I don't sell him too cheap. And I'm happy to take starting bid. I'm happy to take 14,000 for him. So we're going to list him, and off we go. So bearing in mind, if you are listing people, you are spending credits. Now, although it's technically not too many credits per card, you don't really want to be getting too many auctions come back having failed to sell, because you're losing credits. So tip number 4 here is to make sure you price your cards somewhere where you can sell them and they're most likely to get sold, because you don't want to keep overpricing and keep having cards coming back and spending more credits. Not unless you've got an unlimited supply of money and you don't care. So I would suggest that you look at that, decide what's a fair price, how much you want to get for a card, offer it out, and then pretty much try and get a 95% success rate so you can save your real money for later on in the game when you maybe need to do stuff that requires you to spend your hard-earned cash. Okay, and to finish this off, let's have a quick look at a few quick game tips before coming to that season. Now, when you put your team in, put your players in position. Ideally, if you can, that is a big advantage. Okay, if you've got players you can play in position, play them in position, and then worry about dumbing down the position. So the idea, when I say dumbing down, is you're going to play the game to win 2 of the 4 quarters, and you're going to play to win the quarter, which uses 2 players. Okay, so the aim, 2 of your quarters, it doesn't matter what happens, you're going to throw in cards to lose. So in a situation like this, if I can't put myself into Epic Plus or Epic Plus Plus, then the best thing to do is to try and stay as far down in the tier that you're in as possible to give you an easier lineup. Okay, so that's a very good tip here. Don't put yourself up to the top of Epic tier and come up against loads of other Epic players. Here I've got options to play people that are ranked ultra rare. Now if they're ranked ultra rare, what does that mean? Well, that means that if I were to add up all of these ability points of my team and compare them to the total ability points of the Emperor and Lexstaff 25, my ability points will be higher. Okay, because they're in ultra rare, there's a max capacity that the sum of all these numbers can come to before they move up into Epic tier, and the same for Epic into Epic Plus, Epic into Plus Plus, into Legendary, etc. So I know that although 1 or 2 of their cards might be stronger than my cards, overall my overall power is better than both of these 2 guys. So I should pick one of these 2 guys to play to increase my chance of winning. Now I want to increase my chance of winning to get that extra board pick, not because it makes any difference to my win-loss ratio. That has no relevance in the game. Just to try and get that extra board pick. Now, in a situation where the first 2 players are chosen, I'm going to throw 2 weaker cards away and lose this, and then try and win 3 single matches. Okay, that's the theory. So I use my best card first of all, which will get the win. I use the second card here, which should also get us the win. There we go. And finally, I will use my last card, and it should be like an ultra rare. There we go, and I get the win. So come through, won the game. 2 board picks. I would watch the draft as well, and off we go. Next game comes out, so we'll do that again. We look here. If I don't have anyone I want to play, I can go back. I can come back into the game and get a refresh on the people. But we're playing Davis 13 again. I'm looking for ultra rare. Same tactic. If it's a 2-man game first off, I throw it away. If it's a single person quarter, I use my weaker cards. So here we go, is my weakest card at the moment, which is King Capella. Even if I could have won that match, it's not the point. The second game, I will throw another card away. If I win it, all good, which I will do. If I lose it, it's not the end of the world. Now I pray for the double match, which is going to come at the end. They should lay a good card here. So it should be like an Epic Pro or something. There you go, Epic Pro out. So I'm 2-1 down in quarters, but the last quarter I've saved 2 of my best cards. I'm going to win this pretty easily, this quarter, and there we go, I win overall. So I've got 103 to 98 win. I've got the 2 board picks, which should be 6 board picks. Okay, guys, this is what you should be doing. This is where I'm going to stop for a second. I'll get that fan. Hopefully that could have been another card that I could sell. And I'm back on the auction house, flogging those cards as quickly as possible to get that RP. So that's your best way to try and get as many wins as possible. Now, if you want to have 1,000 wins and 0 losses, all you do is in the 4th quarter, before the conclusion of the match comes up, if you know you've lost, you just hard reset your game and come back in. That's how you're going to find people in here with 1,200 wins, 0 losses. It makes absolutely no difference to your overall gameplay. The only difference it makes, people, is that if you lose, you get 1 pick. If you win, you get 2 picks. Now, if you're losing and you're still watching the ads, you're getting 5 picks rather than 6 picks over the course of time. It is more time consuming, and it's not necessary, to be fair. I think people that do that maybe have too much time on their hands. Don't get me wrong, yeah, maybe it'd be great to show you 10,000 wins and 0 losses, but the reality is everybody knows, well, maybe they didn't know, but the majority of people who have played the game for a while do know what you're doing. And for those you hear that are watching that and are thinking, oh my gosh, they must have super decks, I can promise you the majority of the time they don't. They'll be fairly easy to beat. I'll show you here. Here you go, True 2 Jin. He's got 1,048 wins and 70 losses, so he'll have a similar record to me when I get to that many games played. And let's see how amazing his deck is. So 2 players, I throw away, and we've got the pro, 2 pros. So he's going to win this. Then I'm going to beat him in the single here because he's not going to beat this legendary single card. I'm going to beat him in this single match as well because he's not going to have a card strong enough to beat me. And finally, I'll win the last match as well. There you go. Okay, and this is a guy who's got a really, really good record. You know, well over, you know, closing on 95% win ratio, whatever it is, 90. Well, I can't remember. And I still won that without too much trouble. So don't be put off by the win to loss ratios of people. Generally, when something like this is just pure playing, Goal machine, I'm going to imagine with only 24 losses, there's a good chance somewhere along the way he's had a few resets, because you have to be very lucky otherwise to win all these games. You're going to come across people in there which are going to stuff you over. Chris Adams is probably pretty legit. IKE disc golf as well, same idea, probably pretty legit, just playing through. So yeah, that's an idea for you guys. So there you go. So I've given you some information on the auction house, what you should be doing with your rare cards. Sell. Super rare cards, if you're a free player, it's a toss up, because you're not going to have the credits to be able to sell your cards. Therefore, you might want to keep your super rare cards and then try and pro them. Now, once again, I have shown this before. If you are going to be a free to play player and you have cards, and you're trying to get RPs to buy cards to pro your super rare and ultra rares, quick sell. Okay, you can do 2,500 a day, 10,000 a week. Quick sell your cards rather than feeding them away. So if you've got cards that you don't need, like not ultra rares, sorry, commons and uncommons, quick sell them, get your RP, go and get those pros as quickly as you can. If you don't want to spend a single penny in the game and you're not going to be buying any credits, so you can't use the auction house at all, then do exactly the same as I've just done with your rare cards. Get those 10 RPs and just try and make sure each day, if you can, you hit your max limit, or at least over the week hit the 10,000 limit, so you can, in each week, 10,000 RP, it'll be another super rare card that you can get, hopefully a step closer to making a pro. For the majority of you, I would recommend, even if you don't want to buy packs, potentially buying a few credits to use the auction house, because you're going to be able to make the most out of it right now at the beginning of the game, getting those RPs in. So as you can see here we go, guys, I have lost. So no surprise really, the guy had a slightly better team than me. I can't claim the reward yet. We're going to have to wait for 6 minutes, but I will come back in those 6 minutes and we will see if I got anything worth shouting home about. Okay, so I'm back. Let's come and collect that reward. As expected, I lost in the quarterfinals. 4-2 was it? Yeah, 4-2, no problems. So that's an ultra rare card. Let's come and claim this. Do I have much hope for anything? Not really. A duplicate would be good. Let's see what we get. We end up with Brandon Jennings. So that's the first one. Next point guard. Got a few point guards. A point guard's going to be like the new centres from the other game, where you just keep getting centres and centres and centres. So it is another card. I will just show you all something as well, just to clarify. Oh, okay. Damn it. Okay, I can't show you at this moment in time. That was my bad. But I was going to show you about being able to auction cards you get from the season. So there we go. That was my reward. Now let's come in here very quickly. I do have to do a fraction of training, but just to sweep through that, we will use one of these level up cards that you tend to get from playing. Should put him close to it, and we can finish. There we go, done. So let's come into my season. One thing you've got to do, guys, remember, before you go into your season, if you want to make any pros and stuff, you need to remove those cards from play. So we will just swap him with any kind of common card for now. We're going to swap both of Michael and Capellas to get them out, and we also need to swap, who's the last one I was doing? Oakfall, that was it. Good work. There we go. Are these just, no, Gordon. Okay, cool. This is a bit of a pain. They still haven't fixed these images. Let me know if you've got the same problems on your phone. I have it both on the PC and on my Android device. That not most images, there's a fair few images still which are missing from the download content. I thought that'd be something they could have fixed by now. I mean, well, I don't know. That's for another day. Okay, oops. No, not quick game. There we go. My cards. So let's make these few pros. So first of all, Oak Hill. We can not sign him as a pro because he's still in season. Did I not swap him out? Am I just being completely stupid? Did I just mess up there? There's a second one. Sorry. I did not see him. Because I keep swapping him with somebody already in the team. That's what happened. There we go. It's my first day, guys. Go easy on me. Okay, cards. So, first of all, Okafor. I really actually like Okafor. I think he's a really good player. I think the 76ers as well have a really good young team. They have done for a couple of years. It'll be interesting to see how they do this season. Probably not going to do particularly well, but I've got a feeling it could be a dark horse. They could surprise a few in a few matches. Let's go to sign a pro. So what we're going to do here is we are lucky enough to have 3 of the cards from that. So you could use a star card and use 1 card. Obviously, as I've said to you before, using that star contract is a sin for these cards. Okay, so please, if you haven't quite got to your 250 rewards yet, or you've been lucky enough to pull a star card off the board or get it from a pack, contract even, not card, please do not use it for epics, for ultra rares, for super rares, because you will regret it later. I'd even say do not use it for legendaries at this moment in time. Save it for those star cards. Be able to get that star card early on, push yourself into the higher realms of star tier, even save them from playoff cards if you want to. They will become like gold dust in the future. So we start with the Okafor in the middle, which is the fully leveled up one. As you can see here, I'm using the foil one. You can tell the foil card because if you look, his writing is orange. Now let me just go back and show you this before we go any further. So his writing is in orange, as well as at the top it's got like a goldy kind of tint to it with orange writing. And if you look at all these, they are the same. And if you compare, say, this Clint Capella, normal Clint Capella just says ultra rare in white, and the number and the writing is in white, whereas the foil one is in orange. So that's how you can tell very quickly at a glance if your card is a foil card or not. So we've got sign a pro, go to veteran contract, we've got 2 other cards in there. We click sign contract. Okay, so here he comes. Okafor will be a pro. Boom. First pro in the game. Witness with you guys. Second pro, we're going to have Clint Capella. Obviously, I'm going to pick the foil version over the non-foil. Now the non-foil has the specialization in offense. As you can see, that's a poor stat to have in. Ideally, I want defense and rebounding, these best 2 stats. And woe behold, my ultra rare gives me specialization in defense and rebounding. And just to show you the difference, as you can see here, if we click on the original card, he's 304 and 306 without specialization, and with the specialization he's 311 and 309. So you've got 5 extra in both of those stats, whereas on the single card he's only got 5 extra in offense. So between the 2 cards, this Clint Capella is 5 stats better off than the original one. And if we compare these 2 cards, as you can see, he is the one higher on the left. So there's 1 or 2 things. Either he's exactly ranked the same as Dieng because he is in front of him by alphabetical order, or he is 1 or 2, a couple of stat points better off. He can't be more than 5 because Dieng is in front of the non-foil version Capella. So he's either 1, 2, 3, 4 stat points better, or exactly the same, and they're there for alphabetical order. So you can actually use the ranking of your cards to get an idea of how good some of the cards you have in your deck are. Obviously, it's relative to how much you've trained them, etc. So let's come and sign this pro as well. Oh, I've only got what? No, I thought I bought a second one. No, I do. Ah, he's in my season 25. Oh, almost a failed there, guy. Okay. Let's take you out of here. So, to reiterate, I have just moved him around, haven't I? Okay, so let's just come down here. Okay, so you have to take people out of your deck 25 as well as your season. I completely forgot about this. Okay, so that is us done. So now we can click on proceed, come back, and now we can sign that pro. Yeah, so there you go, guys. Not only do they have to be out of your season, they also have to be out of any other thing, even if they're not using your deck 25 at the moment, which is basically the team you set up for road to the championship, etc. They can't be in any kind of any team at all. They have to be out of everything. The only thing they can be involved in is exhibition. So we go Clint in the middle, 15 out of 15, 2 on the side, sign a contract, boom, our second ultra rare Clint Capella, done. And finally, we'll do the same with Dieng very quickly. So that gives me 3 ultra rare pros. Now I will click on my quick game very quickly, and as you will see here, technically those cards don't make it in above my epic cards, but if I pro them up, they will. So what I will do now is I will start using some of my fodder to pro those cards up, push myself into Epic Plus. I can always pro this legendary card, Bill Russell, up to the top. I did miss out on my free pro. What an idiot. What a complete and utter moron. I missed out on that. I should have been able to pro this card for free. Remember the first 9 days of the game, whatever it is, they give you a free pro. I didn't use it. I completely forgot. So I'm stuck here without a pro card. This would have been my pro otherwise. But yeah, so I will work on those guys. Selling my cards in the meantime. Trying to get enough RP to get a second Reggie Jackson, to get a third even Ennis Cantor, because I don't really want to use my star contract. So I'm going to try and get enough RPs, make these guys into pro, and hopefully in the next 400 games or so, I'll be able to have a second one here. My ultra rare pros will push me closer to legendary, along with a epic pro and maybe a single legendary. I'll be able to just scrape into legendary tier and get that full legendary card. So that's the plan. Thank you for watching, guys. I know it's been a longer episode. I hope a few of these tips have helped you. Remember, go back to that auction house, watch the video if you're unsure what I was saying. Really good way to get the RP. The only way I'm getting these cards now and being able to make these pros is from selling all those rare cards, rare and super rare cards, a couple of super rare, majority of rare cards, guys. It's worth it. Putting in a few quid each week to get the credits to go and sell out, 20, 30 of your rare cards if you want to get a boost at the start, is something that I would recommend, as opposed to spending it on packs, because at least with this you're guaranteed to get cards that you want to use from the auction house. You can get cards specifically to help you, not just random cards. So with all that said, thank you very much, people. There are still spaces on my team. I think it was 9 out of 15 we've shown so far. Remember, leave a comment in the box below, tell me your in-game name, join MyTyme, and I will accept you once I can correlate your subscriber with a comment and your in-game name, and you're welcome to join. So thank you, people. Take care. See you all soon.